Hey everybody, welcome back to the basement. Welcome back to the channel. It is York recap time, and I had one goal. Now, what am I looking for, York? Hopefully nothing. Hopefully nothing. Dang it! I did it again. Okay. I can explain. Yeah. Before we get into all of that, let's go through some of the clips that I have from the show. So I took some video at the show. There's not a whole lot, but we got some clips from there. So I wanted to share that with all of you. And then we'll come back to our evening running session, which we have 2 of. Oh, RJ's here.
You live here?
What are you doing here?
I just stayed down in the basement.
Oh.
I had to get an early start on the trains.
What do you know? Get the layout warmed up for today, huh? Yeah. Awesome. All right, we're here. Let's do this. Got it.
I shut the railroad. I don't want to do it anymore. We brought the caboose from Kutztown to the railroad wheels out. Put truck bogies on it.
NS! Neat. All right, so done in the Orange Hall for now. Picked up some scenery stuff. We'll check that out when we get back. So now we're going to strut our way. Oh, I can't because I don't have my name tag. No. Go to another hall and see what they got. All right, heading back to the car. Jason's got a bunch of purple boxes. I've got a Target bag with some purple boxes. RJ's carrying a blue box. It's not his. It's also not mine. It's also not Jason's. Get into that one later. So time for lunch, and then back to the Orange Hall to see what else we can find. Okay, everybody, it's Jason Stucker in his natural train environment. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. The trains booth always has tons of stuff. But if you can't make it out to the trains booth, you can buy stuff online. Use code CT18. Save yourself some money.
Yo, how are you?
All right, night one of the show. What we did was after the show was over, a couple of us went out for dinner. We came back here to the layout and I hosted some members of the Detroit Three Railers. Also, some of my close friends, Chris, Jason, Sid, and RJ were here as well. And then we were fortunate enough to have Eric from Eric's Trains come over and join us as well that evening. And everyone, for the most part, brought something that they purchased at the show, which is always exciting to see on the layout. So let's dive in and see what was run that night.
Are we clear through the block? Over.
Our pets are no more! Pictures over here, but like trying to figure out.
Other people paying attention to me. I saw
Super smooth.
SMTH? Sounds like that.
I've been looking for this for like 10 months, 12 months.
That one?
Yeah.
Because you can convert it to 2-rail and put it, European couplers on there and everything.
This was never meant to be this.
Where'd you get away from my train? Lionel Sd45s.
Eric, I'm on.
That's how they usually do. Yeah.
So it's weird they have those. I think they're plastic, I'm not sure.
So some great engines there. Some of the highlights for me were the UP Vision Centipedes. Those were from Zach or Joker's Trains on YouTube. He has a great collection of really high-end UP stuff from Lionel. We then saw the pilot version or the undecorated version of the, I believe, French Pacific that is Eric's, and so I'm sure he'll show that on his channel when he does his review. We also saw a bunch of other really neat engines running here. Some of the ones that I purchased, we'll announce that later on, but it was a great night having people over. It's always fun just to meet up and have that camaraderie. But then we go right into day 2. So we got up early the next day for Saturday and got right to the show on Saturday. And again, what a great time that we had. So let's get a couple clips from the day there, and then we're gonna come back and we'll run some more trains with a whole nother group of folks that are some on YouTube, some are on Instagram. So we'll tag their engines. If I can remember who ran what, we'll tag it in the videos. Let's go ahead and watch.
See it, Nora?
Mama,
Hmm.
this one's big.
It does.
People told me the show.
Yeah, get two. That's right.
Well, it's got the self-contained battery.
Gotta give him water.
The drover gave us the all clear. We're good. That's it. Ease her out of the stall. Great job unloading. Now let's get this car cleaned out.
That looks shockingly. Don't snitch. I would take it through there to do that. Is he on a website? He does.
I finally decided to go this.
That's a match guy. Sometimes they'll have the door open on the nose of that. You can look at the sign.
So again, another great night of running trains. I was so excited about some of my purchases, and we're going to dive in and unbox or look at some of those things here very, very shortly. But it was just a great night having people over. It was nice to see folks that came from, we had the Chicago guys over. We had Bill from Ozark, Midland, and Southern Railway. Thank you so much, Bill, for the shirt and the mug. There's awesome additions to just my collection and model railroad memorabilia, if you will. So let's go dive into some of the things that I purchased, and we'll talk about them. And then we'll obviously going to see them more on the layout. We already saw them run, but we're going to see them more. We'll do some more reviews and highlight reels of just those engines as time goes on. Let's go look at what I purchased. Okay, so I know this doesn't look good, but let's dive in to see some of the things that we were able to get at this year's work show. So we'll start with some of the shirts. So the Trains booth was giving away shirts. So Trains with the Z on the front, a neat logo there on the back. These are actually really nice quality shirts. So you had to get there early Thursday or Friday to get one of these. I think they ran out. And then there was a social media mixer at York this year, which was basically a panel discussion. That was Chris RBP, Jason from JD Stucks, Eric from Eric's Trains, and Norm Charbonneau from Norm's Trains put on. And they had some door prizes that involved some of these Trains shirts also. Moving over, I then have this Pennsylvania Railroad shirt. Now, not only did I get this Pennsylvania Railroad shirt, I also got a pin, a Keystone pin for my TCA badge. And these were from a fan of the channel who we finally were able to meet. Bob Campbell, Robert Campbell, thank you so much for this shirt and for the pin. Totally unnecessary, but it was great to finally meet you. Bob spreads a lot of really positive vibes through comments and things like that. And so it was great for all of us to get to meet him, and he gifted each of us something a little small, which was totally unnecessary, but very much appreciated. Over here, as I had mentioned before, we've got a nice mug and a shirt from Bill B. Bill has a YouTube channel as well. His previous layouts has been featured, I believe, in CTT, but the OM&S, so it's great to have this shirt as well. So I've got some new clothing after your work, not something I typically come back with. Moving through, Trains was also giving away these billboards that they have. So it's got the Trains logo in there, but you can change that out. These are, I believe they are supposed to be scale, so they're pretty cool. So we'll put that somewhere on the layout. And then what we have is a bunch of detail parts. Now, this is really what I wanted to come back with, was detail parts. So Narrow Gauge Model Railroading Company, they were set up right across from the Trains.com booth in the Orange Hall. And they had a plethora of detail parts and die-cast cars and vehicles. And so I went over there and spoke with the owner, and he was great to talk to. He said he's got like 8,000 more parts on his website. That website is narrowgaugemodelrailroading.com. So I'll try to put that information in the description. But so I picked up some of these. So this one's like a car that's kind of run down in a scrap heap. We've got another small scrap heap. Now these are just look like they're resins, either molded or my guess is these are molds. And then I dropped one. We've got some canvas loads also. So these would go in the back of pickup trucks. So it looks like crates, but they're covered in a canvas. All right, so you paint those maybe a brown with a black wash. So that's what those would need. So here's the first one, this little tiny tractor. Now these are very fragile, but really, really cool, really detailed. I think just gonna weather this, maybe add some rust here and there, but that looks really cool there at my farm scene. So I was really excited to be able to pick that guy up. All right, so here in the town, we've got this new little tow truck as well. So it's a neat little piece, something that you don't see at every hobby shop. You know, a lot of the vehicles you see, they're the same. They're not, I don't know, they're just, you see them, then you see them on everybody else's layout. So this is a cool little piece that I picked up as well. So really, really nice stuff. Really great that I was able to add some detail parts, which is what I wanted. I also went to one of my favorite stands, which is the Altoona Model Works stand. You know that name because that's where the roundhouse came from. That's where the diesel shed came from. And I picked up the Penske Switch Tower kit from Bob. I had emailed him a while ago that I was going to pick this up. He had 3 of them there. There was 2 left when I got to his stand. So I snagged one of these. And then while I was there, he was having a sale on some smokestacks. So just like an industrial smokestack. So this is unpainted. Now, whenever I've done things from Bob before, I usually have him do the brickwork. And this is unpainted, and I'm pretty sure that Switch Tower is going to be unpainted. So this is going to be a new challenge to try to figure out how to do that grout and paint work. But hopefully it's easy, and I can do it myself. So we'll have some how-tos when we build these when the time comes. So pretty good stuff there. Now, there's also a car that's not in a box. So I'm going to carefully pick this up. This came out and went right onto the layout. This is a limited edition Atlas reefer, Maine lobster with that nice blue color and the bright red roof. This was run by the club up in Maine. And so I was able to get this, you know, for an okay price. but it's really, really neat and stands out. I love these Atlas reefers that are different than just another yellow one. A lot of times you just see those yellow reefers. It was really cool to find something a little bit different that's going to stand out. So that's a neat little addition. And then we have a bunch of purple boxes. What could these be? So I was able to pick up some more MTH of these like rotary gondolas to kind of continue to add to my more modern cold train. Unfortunately, these two are the exact same number, and I already own this car, so now I have 3 of the same number car. So we'll either do something about that or not do something about that. Also with the MTH ones, there's no coal loads, so I'm gonna have to figure that one out as well. But it was, you know, they were a pretty good price. Couldn't really pass them down. Found these in the Whitehall at York. So these are great. So a nice new addition to that collection and to that train. We have a Golden Gate Depot box, but it's empty. This is the coaling tower, the Golden Gate Depot brown coaling tower. I've always been looking for one of these. This one has some spray paint on it that looks like they tried to weather it. Doesn't look all that great. So we're gonna fix that. But got it for a great price from Bob's Trains for You in the Orange Hall. And so let's go check that out. So here's that Golden Gate Depot coaling tower. So we've got it in a location there off of our turntable. I'm not sure if that's going to be the final location. I might redo some of those tracks coming in. They were in a specific place so engines could run straight across. I don't do that anymore because of the roundhouse, and there's not a whole lot of real estate between those supports and where the tower itself is. So we might do some adjusting, but that really, you know, when you come, I was talking to my buddy Greg. He was here yesterday, Saturday. And he said, you know, once you come up off the layout, you start building up, it just adds so much more to the scene. Okay, so now we're left with a couple more boxes. Let's start with the 2 up top. So these I had to get 2 of. We're walking around, and one of the things that I've always been looking for more recently are the new Lionel Sd45s. And so Grzybowski's had the pair, the powered and the super bass unit. Talked with Joe, and he gave me a good deal. Couldn't pass it up, so I snagged both of those. And there. So here are the 2 Sd45s that we purchased. And again, I got these from Grzybowski's, so these things are absolutely fantastic. So we have the powered unit and then the super bass unit here. So let's just give them a quick listen. Well, that only leaves us with one more train to go. So
Tower, train is rolling. Over. Have a safe run. Out.
daylight cab forward. So this was the big purchase. I purchased this on Saturday from Mr. Muffin's Trains. I looked at it Friday, asked what price he could do. He came down, but not as much as I needed him to kind of swing this purchase. I've been looking at these since they came out. I had a cab forward many years ago, and I sold it. I believe I sold it when I pre-ordered the Vision Line GS4. And so I regretted that because it's such a unique, cool locomotive. And having the daylight cars, I also felt like it just would be great to have the daylight fantasy scheme of this. There's not many of those out there. And those that are out there are listed at or above MSRP. So I was like, let's go ahead and grab this. Went back Friday. He had come down a little bit more to where I could be. So we picked this up and added this one to the collection also. Now to go along with this, I only have 4 of the daylight passenger cars. I have the Vision Line baggage car. I've got a 2-pack, and then I have the Vista Dome. I don't have any other ones, and they're impossible to find. And we all know how much 21-inch passenger cars have gone up in price recently. Fortunately, my friend Johnny, or Audimus, he's also part of the Matt and Matt podcast. he had the 21-inch cars, the 4-pack and the other 2-pack, and he was looking to get rid of them. So he messaged me back, I think in June or July, and offered them to me at a really great price. So I said yes. So I've been paying Johnny for those, and he delivered them to York when he came to visit on Saturday night. So now I have a ton of daylight cars. And so I think it's time for us to run this thing around and see it with all those cars in all of its glory. Let's check that out now. So York's great. All my friends kind of converge on my area because I live close enough to York that I can kind of be a hub, which is always fun. It's great. I just want to give a shout out to a couple guys. Jason, it's great to see you again, buddy. Always nice getting to hang out and just kind of eat some dinner and relax a little bit. And RJ, Chris, Sid, you guys as well. Thanks so much for coming over, helping to kind of get this show running a little bit this year. It always helps when you get some extra helping hands, so to speak. So thank you all so much. Hit that subscribe button